Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Beautiful You. My name is Jackie, and on this channel, we mostly talk about perfumes. And today's video, I'm super excited because we are testing out some new release fragrances. These are all from 2024. They are fragrances I had my eye on, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want to blind buy, so I decided to test these fragrances first. And I'm here to share my thoughts and opinions with you. Of course, I've tried all of these on skin. And I'm going to let you know whether or not I think these are worth the money or if I'm going to go ahead and pass or bring them into my collection. Are these full bottle worthy? So if you're interested in seeing my thoughts on these new fragrances, then just keep on watching. All right, guys, this first one I was super excited about. When I saw the notes of this fragrance, I was almost giddy, but I wasn't sure. There's a couple of iffy notes in here for me. So this is the new release by Sospiro, and this is Dolce Sonata. And this is a fruity floral fragrance. So when I looked at the notes, I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds wonderful. It has a bunch of fruity notes in here, and then it has cotton candy in here as well, which I'm a big fan of that note. I love cotton candy in my fragrances, but I don't want it to be too overly cotton candy. I wanted something that seemed a little bit complex, and this seemed like it would give it to me because it also has patchouli and incense in here as well, I believe. And then in the mid, there's floral notes as well. So it's fruity, floral, and then the base is incensey and patchouli and with some cotton candy. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought, you know what, that's either going to go really, really right or really, really wrong. And I'm not really sure which one it's going to be. But I have to tell you guys, this one was a love at first sniff for me. As soon as I sprayed it, I thought it smelled absolutely amazing. And I really, really have been enjoying it. So I wrote some notes. So this is what I wrote. I wrote sweet fruits. Definitely get the sweet fruits. Although I will say I'm not 100% sure what fruit I'm really smelling. It's a combination of fruits. So it has raspberry, apricot, lime, bergamot, and sweet orange. And I'm getting kind of a combo of that with probably the raspberry being the dominant note in the fragrance that I smelled. And then I said I do get the white florals, but they're not necessarily, one doesn't stand out above the other. There's lily of the valley, there's jasmine, osmanthus, and there's also rose in here as well. It's not just white florals, but I just kind of got a floral vibe. I didn't necessarily pick out a specific floral. And then I said the dry down is beautiful, sweet cotton candy, but the incense and the patchouli cut through the sweetness, making it deep and grown up. It's like the most grown up fruity cotton candy, fruity floral cotton candy fragrance with some incense and patchouli to help make it smell more, it's not juvenile. It's sweet and it smells fruity and floral, but it's not juvenile in any way. And I really like the incense and patchouli. I think it really works in this fragrance to help balance the fragrance out so that it's not too sweet. And the incense is not too it's not smoky. It's not smoky. It just kind of gives a depth to the base, and the patchouli is the kind of patchouli I like. It's not an earthy patchouli. It smells warm and clean to me, and it's the patchouli I enjoy. Not, I don't like patchouli that's super, super dirty or earthy smelling, and this is just giving it a sexy depth that I just love. And yeah, I really, really, really like this fragrance. So this is a yes for me, and I will be adding this at some point into my collection. All right, up next, we have a new release by Simone Andreoli. And Simone Andreoli is a house I really, really enjoy, but I really seem to gravitate more towards the summer fragrances from the house. And the ones that are not necessarily summer fragrances, they seem to be misses for me. But I wanted to give this one a try because this one sounded really, really good. It has dates and tobacco, and I thought it just sounded really intriguing, really deep, dark, and perfect for winter. So this is Venom Secret of Shaman, and this is definitely a masculine leaning scent for sure. That's the first thing when I sprayed it. I was like, okay, this is way too masculine leaning for my personal taste. I can't wear this personally. The other thing I noticed in this fragrance is that it was way too animalic. The leather in here is extremely animalic. Plus, I put that I don't like the black pepper. there was a lot of black pepper in this fragrance. So it was very masculine. It was very just too much leather. It was too intense. It kind of smelled to me more like a cold, harsh leather jacket leather than the smooth, suedey, buttery leather that I prefer in my fragrances. And yeah, it was just too masculine leaning. So I went ahead and had my husband try it, and he tried it and he didn't really care for it. He said the leather was even too much for him. And so we both just didn't really care for the scent. But I would say if you like masculine leaning fragrances and you love animalic leather scents, then this might be one to check out. It seemed to have really, really good performance. It was definitely wafting, so I don't really think there's going to be any problems with that. And if that's your style, if you like animalic leather fragrances that lean masculine, you might want to check this one out. But for me personally, it was definitely a pass. I did not enjoy it. All right, up next we have the new release by Acro, and this is Glow. And I had heard several people say that they think that this smells like Spiritus Double Vanille, Double Vanille from Guerlain. And I kind of, I don't know, I wanted to check it out for myself. Like, okay, that's a fragrance that I absolutely love. I have a bottle of it. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's my favorite vanilla in my collection, so I really wanted to test it and see. And I would have to say I definitely understand why people are comparing the two. They are similar. There are differences. I actually compared them side by side. There's definitely differences. Spiritus Double Vanille definitely has more of a refined feel to it and a more of a complexity to it, I would say, than this does. But yes, they are pretty similar. I'd say this is probably a combination of Mercedes Club Black and Spiritus Double Vanille. If you put the two together, combine them, yeah, I mean, it's close. It's close. I wouldn't say it's a dupe, but I get the similarities. So I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, I liked it. I thought it smelled really good. There's only four notes listed on Fragrantica. There's pink pepper, incense, vanilla, and amber. And I definitely got the incense. I definitely got the vanilla amber. It's definitely an ambery, like kind of a slightly smoky vanilla amber. I wouldn't even say smoky. It's not even really that smoky, but it's kind of like how Spiritus Double Vanille is, where you can smell the incense, but it doesn't smell smoky. I definitely prefer Guerlain over Acro's Glow for sure. And I did feel like it would be extremely repetitive to have this in my collection. So I don't really feel the need to get it. I don't think it smells bad by any means. It smelled definitely nice, very, very pleasant, but too repetitive for me. I think if you already own like Mercedes Club Black, or if you own Spiritus Double Vanille, I don't know that you need this in your collection. All right, the new release from Parfums De Marley. I was so excited for this one. Palatine is one that I just wanted to love so badly because the bottle is freaking gorgeous. Purple is my favorite color, and I love, love, love the bottle. I had heard some people not give this the best reviews ever, and so I kind of was expecting it to not blow my socks off after I saw the reviews, and I have to wholeheartedly agree with those reviews. This is not a bad fragrance. Let me just start by saying that. It doesn't smell bad at all. It's actually very pleasant and it's nice, and it smells like a very nice purple floral, non-offensive, musky fragrance with a little bit of sandalwood in the base. It's just a pleasant, girly, easy kind of wear fragrance. And if this were, a more affordable scent, I probably wouldn't be so harsh with it. But because this is Parfums de Marley and because it's almost $400 for a bottle, I'm going to be pretty judgmental with this fragrance because I just don't think it's worth the price at all. Even if I were to find this one on sale, Parfums de Marley does eventually go down in price. You can eventually find them for more affordable prices than when they first release. But even then, this one is just so nondescript. I'm just going to be really honest with you guys. This perfume bored me to tears. This perfume bored me to tears. It is nondescript. I mean, like I said, it smells nice. It smells pleasant, but it doesn't smell like a niche $400 fragrance. It just doesn't. All right, there are 3 new releases from the house of Born to Stand Out. And this is the house that I do like some of their fragrances, and they're very hit and miss for me. Born to Stand Out, some of their fragrances I really like. I have 2 on my wish list that I want. I want Happy Nuts and I want Nanotopia. I think those came out last year. Still on my wish list, but yeah, some of their fragrances are hit and some of them are miss. So the new ones, the first one that I tried is called Naked Laundry. And this one, I was expecting a laundry-ish, laundry detergent kind of scent. And it does have that going on. It has a soapiness to it for sure. There's aldehydes in here. The thing with this fragrance is that it is confusing. It's clashing almost for me. This is a fragrance that has too much going on and the notes don't seem to make sense. So there's aldehydes in the opening, but then there's caramel and honey in here. So there's like a sweet kind of gourmand touch, but mixed with some soapiness. And then it also has a lactonic note in here, which doesn't make sense at all with the soap. You know, you've got soapiness and aldehydes and caramel and honey, and then you have lactonic notes. It was kind of a mess. I felt like it was a mess on my skin all over the place. I didn't think it smelled bad. It wasn't something I just had to scrub off, but I just remember thinking doesn't make sense to me. The fragrance just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand where they were going with it. In the dry down of the fragrance, it turned really, really soapy. So it kind of went through this clash of notes and then it just turned really, really soapy. So I don't really like this one. I don't think it makes a lot of sense and I don't understand the combination of the notes. And then another one by them is called Filthy Musk. I was really worried about this one because a lot of the notes seemed like they'd be very, very animalic musk in here. And when I see animalic, I run for the hills because I do not like dirty animalic smells. I don't like that at all. But I was pleasantly surprised with this one. I really didn't get animalic from this. I said that it's warm and it's sweet musk. So the musk wasn't the animalic, filthy musk that I was expecting. It just smelled like a warm and sweet, pleasant, non-screechy musk. So the opening was like a pleasant surprise. The only problem I have with this fragrance is that the dry down of this perfume smells super similar to Happy Nuts. I actually still have my sample of Happy Nuts. I took that one out and sprayed them side by side to compare. And in the dry down, the 2 fragrances end up smelling the same to me. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else gets that, but they're pretty much the same perfume with different openings. And I was really surprised because like Happy Nuts has pistachio and this fragrance doesn't have pistachio, but the dry down ends up smelling the same to me. I don't know. So I put dry down smells very similar to Happy Nuts. There's sweet, nutty honey and caramel with warm musk, which is what Happy Nuts ends up smelling like in the dry down. Too similar to Happy Nuts, which is one that I actually prefer because I like the pistachios in Happy Nuts. So I like Filthy Musk. It was a pleasant surprise. I think it's a good fragrance, but it's too similar to one of their other fragrances that they already have out. And so for that, I'm just going to pass on Filthy Musk and stick with Happy Nuts. Okay, you guys, and the last fragrance by Born to Stand Out that I want to talk about, I think you pronounce this L'animal. And this is one that was just a straight up no as soon as I sprayed it. This immediately was a no for me. This fragrance I get a slightly boozy feel to this fragrance. It's slightly boozy, but not overly boozy. And it was like a booziness, but then I got this like heliotrope powderiness in the fragrance, which was kind of an interesting combo. It was definitely a unique fragrance. I don't really think I've smelled anything quite like this before, but I don't like the dry down of this perfume. So the dry down of this fragrance has leather and woody notes. I think there's Gaiac wood, and Gaiac wood is a tricky note for me. Sometimes Gaiac wood I can handle if it's done a certain way, but sometimes Gaiac wood smells really off to me. And the mixture between the leather and the Gaiac wood in the dry down just did not work on my skin. It just smelled so off. It was too harsh. It was like a harsh, woody leather with a weird smell on my skin. It didn't work. I actually did find this fragrance to feel a little animalic as well. This one had a little bit of an animalic, leathery, woody feel, very masculine feeling to me in the dry down. So yeah, it didn't work for me. This one was a straight up no. I actually ended up washing it off pretty early on. I think I could only keep it on for about 20 minutes. And then it really got on my nerves. So this one made it 20 minutes and then I had to wash it off. All right, guys, so we have two more fragrances I want to talk about today. This one I almost didn't even try because I did not think I was going to like this. This one shocked me. I was not expecting to like this fragrance, but I do. This is by Atelier des Or, and this is Blue Madeleine. I tested the other one. I can't remember what it's called. It's in the light pink bottle that came out with this one. I tested that one several months ago. Really didn't like that one at all, and just skipped this one altogether because this one has black tea in it, and I'm not really the biggest tea person, and I just didn't think I would like it. It was the number one accord on Fragrantica was woody, and I'm like, oh, this just isn't going to be my style. But I decided to try it anyway because my curiosity got the best of me. Plus, those bottles are gorgeous. I have Pink Me Up, and I love that bottle. I would love to have another bottle in my collection like that. That blue color is stinking gorgeous. But anyway, I tested this one several times on skin because I couldn't believe it. I love this. It's definitely not my typical scent profile, but wow, that's okay. I can broaden my horizons, right? I mean, that's what this is all about, just discovering new fragrances. So when I first smell this, I get a hint of cinnamon and the pink pepper in the opening, which I love cinnamon. I love that spicy kick in the opening. It's not overpowering though. It's not like cinnamon in your face cinnamon. So even if you don't like cinnamon, I would say you should still give this one a try because it's definitely subdued. Definitely get the tea, but it's done in a way that I really like. There's also lactonic notes in here, and I think that's what helps it. It doesn't smell like black tea. It's kind of like, if you drink coffee but you put creamer in it, black coffee is kind of bitter, but then you put creamer in it and then it tastes good. That's kind of what I feel like this is. It's like the lactonic notes help to cut through that like bitter tea. There's just enough praline in here to keep this sweet without it's not overly sweet, but it has just enough sweetness for me to make me like this fragrance. And then it has the most gorgeous, there's sandalwood in the base, which is just so pretty. This is a yes for me. I think I'll be buying this. All right, and last up, we have the new release by Xerjoff that I was super, super excited about. This Xerjoff is my favorite house, I believe, probably pretty high up there. I really enjoy a lot of Xerjoff, although they don't all work for me, but I'm always excited when they come out with a fragrance. Lavar Del Soul, I think is how you pronounce that. Sorry if I butchered that. This is a fruity floral, spicy fruity floral, citrusy, ambery fragrance. It has all that in the fragrance. So here's the thing. The first time that I wore this fragrance, where's my sample? Here it is. Okay. So the first time that I wore this fragrance, I remember thinking, no, this isn't, I don't know, this isn't as impressive as I was hoping for. I was hoping for something else. And I really didn't give it much, I sprayed it on the back of my hand, I smelled it, and I was kind of like, meh. I went back to it and tried it again. This time I sprayed it all along my arm, gave it some time, walked around with it, and I started picking up more than I did the first time I tried it. So my first impression of this fragrance it was a no. The second time I wore it, it was a maybe, because I started picking up on some stuff that I really like. There's a lot of fruits in the opening, but mostly I get this combo of like apple and orange. I think there's green apple, some lemon, but I get the green apple and the orange to kind of like together. It doesn't smell straight up like orange to me. but I definitely get orange for sure. And then there's a lot of cardamom, which is interesting because you've got this spicy, citrusy thing going on. I love cardamom, so I'm here for it. And then you have a very warm dry down. That's the thing. It's very warm. It's very amber like. I think there's caramel in here. Um, yeah, it's like a very warm, ambery, caramelly kind of dry down, but it also has some earthiness to it because there's oak moss and patchouli. So it almost kind of seems this is kind of a confusing fragrance as well. At first, I was like, wow, this just kind of jumps everywhere: spicy, citrusy, ambery, earthy, all in the same fragrance. It's kind of, do I like this? I don't know. And I kept going back to it, and it's really growing on me. It's really growing on me. The earthiness in the dry down, the oak moss, is very slight. I don't typically like oak moss. The patchouli in here is also very easy to digest. It's not overly earthy, it's not dirty smelling. It just kind of gives the fragrance a little depth and warmth. Every time I wear it, it seems like I like it more and more and more. It started as a no, then a maybe, and now it's more of a yes. I think this is a slow burn for me. This was not love at first sniff, but I am really enjoying it more and more. So I will keep you posted on that one. That one's a strong possibility. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Those are the fragrances I've been testing and my personal thoughts on them. And I want to hear from you. What do you think of these fragrances? Have you tried them? Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? What do you think is full bottle worthy? And thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody is having an amazing day, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.